Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Really do appreciate it as always. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Let's go. I wasn't planning on doing one of these videos. I really wasn't. Now, I was going to check the numbers, of course, out of pure curiosity, but I was so absolutely shocked by what I saw that I just had to do a short video on this. This is wild. Now, as you all know, first week, Unrivaled, right? Friday night. It was solid. I praised it. I talked about it. It's a good start if they can build on it or even hold it, right? It was solid. Over 300,000 viewers for both games. Last week, a dip. I think it was, between 15-20%. Look here if you can see these numbers. We've got 270,000, 260,000 for the second game last Friday. What do we have now? Well, what we have now is game one fell to under 200,000, 190,000, and then game two dropped all the way to 140,000 viewers. Let's check this out. Here is game one right here, 190 Lunar Owls versus Laces. Game two followed up Unrivaled Phantom versus Rose, and I won't add the clip again, but I think y'all know where I'm heading with that. 140,000 for they're not just watching because of one person, they're watching because of me too. And I want you all to realize that. Yes, 140,000 people. Folks, my people, that's not just a tip, that's a frigging alarm bell. At this rate, by next month, these games might be getting fewer viewers than a 3 a.m. infomercial for a magic mop. Absolutely and utterly ridiculous. By the way, I want to play this in case for those of you that might not have seen. But Angel Reese, by the way, shout out her, also the first player to get ejected from Unrivaled. So hey, while we're here, let's talk about it. Now, the funny thing is, I gotta say, I believe I think the clapping thing, that's weird, that's obnoxious, you could give a car and but see, there that's a no-no. A lot of people are and then she kept going. So here's the thing, let me stop just real quick in case you didn't see defending her, and I kinda get it because at the double T and boom, she's gone, right? But here's the problem that you have. A lot of times, it's how you handle it in terms of what you say. Obviously, there could be things said that we as the viewers don't know, but also your body language and how you act, right? And that the dismissive hand wave, like that's going to get you a T almost every single time you do it. That like dismissive hand wave, turn your back, walk away. She kept doing it, got a T. Now she's headed over to the referee again to complain as well. He's already teed her up, right? And she's going to keep it going. And now she's interacting with the player on the foul line who's Tiffany Hayes, right? And then the swatting down at her, and you're saying like the ref's telling, "Hey, get out of the." I see. There's an example. I would love. Let me back that up just a little bit. I would love to have heard what was said there because it was like that's because she's got to go. She's got to get tossed. But that's just losing your composure, and you can't do it. You cannot do it. So obviously, I don't know what was said, but there was something that triggered it. But anyway, in case you didn't see that, I just wanted to kinda go through it, and for me, what I saw, because a lot of people are defending her, and I'm not saying she shoulda gotten tossed. I'm saying from a referee's perspective, and as someone who has officiated, I mean, not clearly not at that level, did it when I was younger, officiating everyone younger than me, but that that dismissive hand wave stuff that everyone can see, that's a big no-no. That's gonna get you going. But anyway, I wanna go over a little bit more about the ratings. There's a couple of the problems that we see because, folks, this is seriously, this is alarming. Now we have gone in 2 weeks, right? So the 3rd Friday, but that means only 2 weeks. We've gone from over 300,000 viewers on the Friday night, all the way down to 140. That's more than a 50% drop in 2 weeks. So what are the issues? Let's go through some of them real quick, okay? I won't keep you too long for this one, but one of the biggest issues I think in particular for 3v3 for this is 6 fouls per game. Now I realize not every team's having their 6 players every night, but you do have 6 on a roster and you're only playing 3. 6 fouls per game in a 7-minute quarter format, and then a fourth quarter that is most likely gonna take less time than that because based on how these teams are scoring, probably getting to 11 before that mark, although I saw one game I never thought it would end, but anyway, so you got 6 fouls per player per game when the quarters are only 7 minutes long. So what does this do? It's way, way too much. It leads to overly physical play, which has been a problem for the league, the WNBA, all these years in general to get attention and fandom because it's just not entertaining. So now that leads to overly physical play, which just simply isn't great to watch. More fouls, more stoppages, more games looking like a wrestling match. A lot of people were probably like, "Wait, am I watching the WWE? Is this the Rumble or am I watching Unrivaled?" Right? It just looks more like a wrestling match than basketball. I mean, some of these players have more fouls in a game than I have unread emails, and let me tell you, that is saying something. Then you've got something I've talked about before. The 3v3 format exposes weaknesses in the game in the WNBA that has been a problem with it not being 5v5 with the size of the court, even though it's a little smaller, there's more space. There's way more space to cover. You're seeing these teams now, some of them they go up tempo, they can't sustain it for very long. So then they go back into their normal half court grind offense with the physical play. So that open space, that's a problem for a lot of the players. And if you struggle with speed, you struggle with movement, you struggle with that explosiveness and that agility, it gets magnified in 3v3. Look, it's and to be fair, it's the same reason there are some NBA players who look elite in a system, but they struggle in open one-on-one settings because the floor don't lie. And hey, by the way, one of those players is LeBron James. That's why the man never plays 1v1 because he doesn't have a bag for 1v1 play. And so he'll look great in 5v5. He's not going to look so great in 1v1, but I mean, you know, it's like when you move into a bigger apartment, right? You suddenly realize, I just simply don't have enough furniture. It's all that space making the gaps more obvious. All that space is making the lack of talent, lack of athletic ability in certain areas of the game more obvious. Now, we're seeing changes. Okay, we are seeing changes. Don't get me wrong; it's always evolving. And one of those big ones, of course, is Caitlin Clark coming into the league. Something I've said previously as well. And players that are going to follow her in the style of play, the little more of the athleticism, not necessarily just the big body that has an advantage because it's a big body, right? Instead, you're going to have the explosiveness and the athleticism and the agility and the skills and the basketball IQ that is going to outweigh that physical play. But that's going to take a little more time, right? That's not something we can actually do and fix now. And of course, one of the absolute biggest that's always been a problem, the layup struggles. They are even more noticeable in 3v3 because with that extra space, there are more opportunities for layups in the way this is played. Missed layups have always been an issue in the WNBA. And man, in this 3-on-3 format, they're getting even more layup chances. And this means we're seeing even more missed layups. It is a tough watch. It is a tough watch to ask fans, especially new fans coming in, and they want to try and love this game. But man, if you want fans to stay engaged, you can't have constant missed point blank shots. You just can't simply can't do it. It's not entertaining. It is not fun to watch. And apologies, seriously, because this wasn't a setup. She just happened to get that tee. And I say this is league wide. Okay, I'm telling you, it is a league wide issue. Some more than others, obviously. Angel Reese being one of the worst layup shooters in the league. But again, I'll say to be fair, The league misses a lot of layups, and if you watch this, folks, here I mean, this I'm sorry, but you watch this and you cringe. That is cringe worthy because it's not even just the missed layup, okay? Look at how it's shot. I wanna slow this down just a little bit. This is the problem. Watch the le I mean, this is what I said before about her specifically, but this is a lot of players, and you're seeing the exposure of lack of agility and athleticism in the open court, is this whole thing looks awkward from start to finish. There's no natural 2 steps, and the one arm goes up with the one leg, it's this weird hop thing, and then it's sort of this chuck from the waist, chuck/scoop up from the waist, and usually it's designed to just hopefully draw a foul. There's the weird 2 steps, then it's the wrong leg, and anyone who tells me that, "Oh, that's not the wrong leg," yes, there are certain instances where you will purposely do that. That is not one of them. She took, like, a two-step hop, went off the wrong leg, and then and chucked it at the basket, and it's just no one wants to watch that. It's like it's like watching someone, especially say, you're trying to help out your parents maybe or an older grandparent, right? And you're getting them set up, they're not into tech and all that, and it's like watching them trying to plug in a USB, right? Trying to plug in maybe a flash drive or something the wrong way 3 times in a row, and it's simply painful every single time, and you just wanna rip it out of their hands, flip it over, and plug it in the right way. So how do we fix it, man? Because this is what's I want Unrivaled to succeed, and just like I've always said with players I coach, if we cannot talk about the mistakes, if we cannot talk about what we have to work on, we are not going to get better, and so all those people in this weird climate that we're in now, it's like, "Oh, you said something I disagree with, you're hating." No, I want it to succeed, which means we have to address the issues. We have to address the problems. Otherwise, they never get fixed. And they need to get fixed. We got to cut down on the fouls. And again, that goes back to the athleticism too, with also the ability to slide the feet. They're all so quick to cross their feet over and then body. Maybe tweak the format a little bit somehow next season that doesn't expose these flaws as much. And man, for the love of the game of basketball, please, please work on finishing layups. I mean, if we can address just that, it would be huge. The league could be awesome. It could grow. It could be something successful outside the WNBA that is a little different. And maybe it's not even the WNBA players doing it because maybe they cash in with their CBA and they don't need to. Unrivaled becomes a developmental league and or something like arena football was to football. Otherwise, the rating's gonna keep dropping, and we all know what happens when a league can't draw viewers. There's no more league. It's like a new restaurant, great opening night, packed house. But man, if the food isn't great, if the atmosphere isn't great, next thing you know, it is a freaking mattress store. And this is going to be a mattress store next season. Next year is going to be we can't go from over 300,000 to 140,000 in 2 weeks. Absolutely wild. What do y'all think about this? Can Unrivaled fix these problems? Or is it doomed? Is it going to keep losing viewers? What is the floor, by the way? Right when we first saw the Saturday, I think it was the Saturday game, right? The first Saturday game was like one something. We're like, ooh, ouch, that kind of hurts. But maybe that's the floor. Now we got the Friday night games, which 2 weeks ago did over 300,000, are getting close to that mark, 140,000 viewers. So what do you think? Is that the floor? Not ceiling, floor. It better not be the ceiling, but let me know in the comments what you think of all this. Because man, if we don't talk about it, if we don't come up with ideas, obviously I shouldn't even say we, it's really ultimately the league that needs to, right? But maybe they'll listen to us. We become loud enough, we become big enough as a group, they might listen and they'll tweak things and they can be a success. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Always appreciate you checking out the videos. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.